It's board game vibe time once again, and this time we're looking at Cartagena and the sequel, Cartagena to the Pirate's Nest. So this would be a case of second system syndrome, where the sequel adds too many wrinkles such that it's not as enjoyable than the original. Well, yes it is, but let me explain why. Let's first look at Cartagena. So I'm needing to go into voiceover mode now because I've had some trouble with audio, but Cartagena comes with an instruction set, as you can see there. It also comes with some nice wooden pirate characters, 6 in 5 different colours. You get cards and a modular board. The board itself is such that you can set it up in different ways, which is a nice touch. It's lots of variance in terms of the board shape, size, and I guess strategically the bits you've got. They also have a piece of paper which shows you what it looks like when you stick it all together. You're free and easy to use it. There are essentially 2 ways to play the game. There's, I guess, the one that we've never done, which is the face down play with the cards, where I guess you'd end up with a lot of analysis by paralysis, but the one we prefer is where you get 6 cards in your hand, only you know that, and start doing set collecting and strategizing and looking at the game. So let's see the board set up. So I've taken one board configuration here. Again, they don't need to be nicely packed. You can do it anyway. You use the boat to represent the end condition, and you put your pirates who are escaping the prison at the other. And then essentially the idea is to get pirates from one side to the other. First person to have all their pirates in the boat wins. The move mechanism is fairly straightforward. You have a card here, so say I've got a sword, and I need to move a piece forward, and I'm waiting for my hand to come into the screen shortly. Let's bring it in, guys. Come on, you can do it. There it is. So I'm pointing to the card. So basically I move it to the next available sword, or I can move my starting piece. So any of my pieces on the board or can move it. Now next one, of course, is if I move a bottle. If the key thing is, if a piece is covered already by that, you don't stop there. You move on to the next free space. That way you can efficiently try to get your guys way up the other end of the board by playing appropriate cards where you know the character is covered in front of you. So for the example being the key, you can see the key, it's all the way up to there, and there I can place it, so which is a far more efficient way to get my guys moving towards the boat. Now I don't actually pick a card up at the end of the game. The only way I can get a card is by moving my pieces back, and it's a fairly simple rule. I can move a piece back once and I get to the next available single pirate, I get 1 card, or I can move a piece back to 2 pirates and get 2 cards. I'm about to show myself saying I can't move it back to 3, in which case that piece would keep going to where I guess the 2 yellow guys are and get up the 2 cards. Does mean a mechanism if you play really silly or your opponents play very well, you can isolate a player such that he can never actually finish the game. That's what I've read. It's never happened. I can see the potential for it, but you really need to be playing bad, maybe running out of cards, not having enough to get you moving forward. But as a game, it's fairly straightforward, and really recommend it. It's great for, I think, for a game for introducing newbies, but even players who have played a few games. I think Cartagena should be in most collections. I like the theme, I like the game, but let's look what they did with the sequel. So Cartagena 2 has, again, a rulebook, the similar-sided pirates, although I have in this case a one-legged pirate. I'm not too sure whether thematically they're extended. I'm actually pretty sure they haven't. You get this little flag, which is gives a little wrinkle at the end of the game. Sets of cards, different types of iconography, because it's outdoors, I guess. Different pieces which you can align, but once again, it's a modular type of board, so you can set it up. In this case, the end condition is Pirate's Nest. In our case, the boat has more involvement in the game than the previous one, and they've kindly again given us a piece of paper to see how it works. So what you actually do is set it up as 2 islands, a smaller one and a larger one, and rather than just simple move your pirate or get some cards, there's a boat move as well. The other main difference is that in this case you don't move your pirate back, but you move one of the opponent's pirates forward to get cards, which initially might make this seem like a family type game, but actually it makes it more interesting, more possibly convoluted, but a different type of game. Let's set it up and have a talk about it. So it's back to voiceover mode, and in this game and also the first one, each turn you have 3 actions. So you can move pirates 3 times, or do a combination of move pirate back, get some cards in the first game, I guess, or in this case move the pirate forward. In this version number 2, the other action is also reserved for moving the boat forward or moving the boat back, with some qualifications. It also has some additional opponents, which is, if you look at the cards, there's a border around them. There's a 7-hand limit, but that only applies when someone plays a card with a border. We tend to keep forgetting that when we've played it the few times. It's like these just little additions to the rules, which I don't know if they extend or not. So this is me an example of showing if I move an opponent's pirate forward, I'd get 1 card. There I'd get 2 cards. When you go to the end, you have to do an additional action to raise the flag, which may or may not make it exciting if you've blown all your 3 actions on getting the guys in Pirate's Nest. You've got to wait 1 more turn to raise the flag. The boat mechanism itself has some rules about you get 1 free turn if you have equal majority of pirates in the boat. That means you're captains. But and there's a bit of, I guess, certainly deeper strategy in getting the pirates, the boats, etc. But almost to the extent that it loses the simplicity, I guess, the purity of the original game. So it's not a bad game, Cartagena 2. I just think you'd only get it if you're a fan of the first one. Otherwise, stick to the first one. Great game. And that's the board game vibe.